G.A.D. Vegas Fulcher, welcome back to another episode of Craic on the Coast, the show where we explore the people, the stories, and the passion shaping Irish culture here on the South Shore and beyond. I'm your host, Michael Schilling, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in all things Craic, Mr. Greg Shanahan. How you doing, Greg?
Very well, Michael. Super excited about today's podcast. I've been looking forward to it all week, and I didn't know if I was going to get to do it with the Thanksgiving holiday and everything coming up. So happy to be here. Today, we're sitting down with an extraordinary guest. You know him from the Irish Tenors, from his powerful solo career, from performing at presidential ceremonies, world stages, and some of the most emotional public moments of our time. And on November 30th, he'll be right here in Plymouth performing at Memorial Hall, right up the street from our Hibernian Hall. And we're absolutely honored to welcome the incomparable Ronan Tynan to the show.
How are you, Craig? How are you doing?
Very well, sir. Thank you so much for coming on.
Not at all. And I'm actually here with our new tenor, Patrick Hyland, who's joined me. Patrick, this will be his first time with the Irish Tenors. It's great. The previous member, Declan, wasn't able to come and travel and subject himself to the hardship.
Well, that's great.
So I've
That's a
been
great
drafted in.
addition.
Pardon, Mike?
I said that's a great addition. I'm glad we
Oh,
get
this is
someone
a
else on
great
too.
addition. Do you know, I'm impressed, Michael. You have a couple of focal Gaeilge.
Yeah, I know what.
Yeah,
Mahu.
a little bit.
Yeah, Mahu.
It's been so I have a really good friend who's a Sonia singer, Marini Haiti, who lives
Oh,
in
you know.
Dorchester in Boston.
All right. Okay.
And she is a big proponent of language. And she was out in Belfast for an event, for a Gael Talked event, and she told me that after the holidays, she's gonna take me and put me through a real go through on the language. I'm excited for that. That's something I've always wanted to do,
All
and
right.
she's gonna do that, and I'm
So
excited
you
for
must
it.
have you must have a bit of Irish heritage, do you?
I do. So I'm second generation. My mother's family is from Galway. They're all in Galway City, but
Oh,
they
great
came
place.
they came down from Leanon in Connemara. So
Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah,
really, really, you're from the Stones.
yeah. You could say that. Um, but no, we're really excited to have you guys on. This is great. I'm interested to obviously speak with you, Ronan, about just your story. I think a lot of people who are our listeners might not be fully informed as to your full story because one thing that we talk about a lot on this podcast and it has to do with our culture and our history is the resiliency of the Irish
Okay.
people. And your story really does embody that.
Well, I suppose, Mike, the first thing that I would have to give credit to in terms of my life is my parents. It's a funny thing, as you move into the third trimester of life, you realize how the foundation of life really is important. And my father was only 5'4". I'm 6'4" and a few hundred pounds. And my mother was 5'4.5", and she was a tough nut to crack. And he had a beautiful voice. Mom couldn't sing a note, but they instilled that drive and perseverance and the resilience to go forward, irrespective of what the challenges I might face.
Ah,
So that's where the whole drive and determination came from, and I suppose it stuck with me.
well, I mean, one thing that I would bring up that some of our listeners not is we sit here today, we record on November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, but we're also 100 days from the Paralympics in Milan.
My God, yeah.
And
And that's funny because in my in my kind of 20 to 30, I competed very strongly in that. I mean, it's very different now, Mike, in the sense that the opportunities presented to these athletes are amazing and good on them. And they're finally getting recognition for being athletes.
sure,
I
yeah.
remember when I won in Korea, I came out of the discus circle and I was immediately escorted to be drugs tested. I couldn't wait to give them a sample. I couldn't wait. I thought this is the biggest accolade that I will ever be given is the fact that they recognized that I was an athlete, but that they thought that I had some kind of extraterrestrial power to drive the discus 20 to 30 meters further than anybody else. And I just said, I'm Irish.
Yeah. But no, I think that's a part of your story that a lot of people don't realize, about how, you are an amputee and you did progress
Yeah,
it to the point where you were in the Paralympics and you competed and you didn't let that hold you back. I mean, that's an amazing story unto itself before we get on to the musical
the
career.
music. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the funny thing about that is I remember competing in 1984 in New York at the Paralympics in New York. I guess I was the type of individual that never liked second. I never liked second place, and I was determined, no matter what, if I had to die doing it, I would win. That was, and I wasn't nasty about it. It's just that I had that bulldog determination. And I remember at the end of it, they announced the greatest male athlete in the disabled world, and I was given that award in 1984. I was given this what they call the Sir Richard Kunzer Award, and President Reagan gave it to me, and I thought, well, this is it. I've hit the jackpot, but what people don't realize is in all sport, it requires a huge amount of resilience. It requires a huge amount of determination and motivation, but it also requires that the people who support you stand by you 1000%. And that's why I have huge respect for the parents, because they're the ones that go on this trip and they rejoice in the achievements, and they show that their trepidation and their delight when these kids achieve. And that's the big deal. That's the big deal. And to be honest with you, the Paralympics is very much a pure sport.
Mm.
We haven't delved into the madness of extra help.
So, Ronan, so before anyone knew you, as a Paralympian, and then later on as a doctor, when did music start to rise to the forefront?
Well, the interesting thing about that, Craig, to be honest with you, as I said, my father was a most beautiful singer, but I grew up on a farm, and um, I had a brother and sister, and we were workers. At that time, every member of the family had jobs. And even though I had a disability, it wasn't looked as a disability. And you had your jobs on a Saturday, which you had to clean floors and wash floors. And then in the morning I went out to milk cows with my dad. And we used to sing to the cows, the two of us. And the milk yield was good. And I remember dad said to me, one day we were singing, and he said, "Ro," he said, "you should do something with the voice." And at that time, I was in my fourth year in medical school, and I said, "There's a lot going on here." I said, "The voice might have to just take second place." And he said, "Well," he said, "do something with it." He said. So, and what happened was, there was a music school at the back of the hospital at the back of the college, and it was called the Adelaide. So what I did was, while I worked in the Adelaide, I used to nip off for an hour every morning to have lessons with the famous Veronica Dunn. She was a phenomenal soprano of her time, and she was teaching. And when I started, I was 33. So it was, I was on the back burner the whole time. But Ronnie Dunn, she, I I didn't even have an audition planned. I heard this young one singing on the second story of a building, and I thought that's where the action is, and I got to get there. Knocked on the door, and this very elegant lady came out, and she said, "Are you here for an audition?" I said, "By God, I am." See, the man above, doesn't mind when you tell white lies, because they're for the good of the world.
There you
And
go.
Okay.
so Ronnie just liked what she heard, and that was it. And I progressed. I went in, then there was a thing called the Festival. Michael, you might know this. There's these Irish competitions, singing competitions called
Mhm.
Festival. So I went into that and I won it. And then there was a prestigious competition. after that called the John McCormack Cup. I won that, and then things just blew and escalated. And it's funny, when I went home, my dad came to the final of that, and he peppered. He was loving it, and he was so he got behind me completely in terms of the singing. And he says to me, "Ro, you should do the singing." And I said, I'm trying to become a doctor. I know that, but he said, just do the singing, do this. And he never, after that, he was never interested in what I was doing in hospital. All he wanted to hear was what Veronica Dunn was teaching me, and could I teach him?
Sure. And
So
then
I'll
you
ask you, Ronan, and then I'm gonna tag Patrick in on this question too.
Great.
When did you first connect with the Irish Tenors? I mean, what's the
Uh,
background
that's
to that
that,
story?
that that's a great story. I won a competition called Go For It in 1994. And one of the adjudicators was a guy called Bill Hughes. And in 1998, Bill rang me up and he said, "Would you like to be part of the Irish Tenors?" I hadn't a clue who they were or what they were. I said, "Yeah." And he said to me, "Do you know anybody else that would?" And at that time, I knew Anthony Kearns, because it was astonishingly good tenor voice. So I said, "Yeah, I know Anthony." And lo and behold, PBS on the other side were putting another person together called John McDermott.
Oh,
So
John
they were
McDonald,
going
yeah.
to do a PBS special on him. So then the people that were in charge with McDermott and then Bill, and they got together and they decided, let's put the three of them together. And in 1998 was born the Irish Tenors, and we had the big, huge show from Dublin, live at Dublin, and that's when it all started. It took off, and my God, did that take off!
Yeah.
I mean, that went. We were the hottest ticket on PBS. Amazing what 27 years can do. I now don't have hair, but I did then.
I
But
remember
27
one
years
year.
later, I mean, 27 years later, the group hasn't, you've had one come in and out every so often, but the group itself is stayed pretty much intact with you and Anthony.
Yeah, I suppose Anthony and myself have stayed fairly intact. I mean, Anthony is like my younger brother, you
Mm.
know, and we get on great, and I suppose both of us are kind of amazed at the traction that America has given us, because America has embraced us. And I love America. I live here, and it's amazing what the Irish American diaspora have embraced. They love our culture, and even other nationalities, the Italians, all the other nationalities love the authenticity of Irish music. Sure, we're the greatest people to go out and celebrate bereavement. We love bereavement. We know how to celebrate somebody's death. And the great thing is we don't even have to know the person that's died. We just drink to their death.
You say that about multicultural. On my father's side, my 84-year-old Italian grandmother was a huge fan of the Tenors
That's
and
brilliant.
watched on PBS, and it was Pavarotti and it was the Tenors, and that's what she absolutely loved. So,
Right.
it
I was
definitely
just
is
gonna
Brilliant.
cross-cultural.
I was just gonna say earlier, I was thinking about, what we were gonna talk about today, and I recalled back, gosh, 20 some odd years ago, I bought my then girlfriend's mother, Irish Tenors CD, and absolutely one Christmas.
Are you still together?
No, no. Bo
Yeah, that
both
mine or that CD might have had that relationship.
both of her parents were from Ireland,
All
and,
right.
I was so popular with the CD, the dad leaned into me during dinner and said, "Right on you, a kiss ass." And, I was
That's
I
brilliant.
I wasn't that popular over there after that.
And then you married an Italian.
No, I married a Brazilian,
Oh,
and,
very good. Good man.
well,
I hope she
that's
still has the
that's how you get
CD.
away that's how you get away with watching as much soccer as I do.
There you go. And boy, that's well worth it. God, that is a great team. Anyway, Craig, you wanted to ask Patrick something.
Yeah, let's hear from Patrick a little bit because I mean you're the newest Irish tenor then, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's hear
Yeah.
about your background, and I'm really curious to hear about what it was like when they asked you to join. I mean that
Well,
the, the, the
I've been a
pressure I can't even imagine.
yeah, I've been a huge fan of the guys. I remember coming over to the States in 2000 and I saw them in concert in Detroit actually. And yeah, little did I think that I'd be joining them. But it's yeah, and even just listening to Ronan's story there, it's just it's such an incredible and inspiring story that he has, and the guys are great. And yeah, I was very obviously excited when the guys contacted me to join them. I was like, oh, is this real? You know?
All
So
right.
So
so
what's your
yeah, I'm
background, Patrick?
well. Funny enough, as Ronan was talking there, the three of us actually all went to Veronica Dunn, the same teacher,
Oh,
the late Dr. Veronica Dunn.
And he's a farmer's son as well, you know, so it's all to do with the
Yeah, there
roots,
you
the
are.
grassroots of the country,
there you go.
There must be something in the air or something, you know.
or something in the milk.
Or something in the milk, or the tea, or the Guinness. But yeah, so I studied with Dr. Veronica Dunn in the academy in Dublin, and yeah, I've been on the concert circuit, the opera circuit, and yeah, but this is like I'm so excited to be with the two guys. They're great. They're great two lads, and
He's great at lifting bags, Craig. I tell you what, at my age, I don't lift bags well, and this fella is like a bulldog. Nothing is impossible.
Well, you have to haze the new guy and make him do that kind of
Oh,
stuff
oh
anyways.
yeah, big
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a
Yeah.
lot of that, Greg. There's a lot of that. Yeah,
I have no problem with hazing. I believe that's it develops resilience.
I was just gonna it builds character, right, Ronan?
yeah,
It does, Michael. It builds character.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it will by the end of the tour anyway. Yeah.
So
So we're really
how long does the tour go for? You guys are obviously you're in Plymouth on November 30th, but it
right.
sounds like you have a full slate after that as
Oh my
well.
God, it's nuts. And Michael, I'd love to catch the fellow who arranges these tours. We're going back and forth through the wilds of America. We're doing the Mid America. We're doing the West Side. Then we end up finishing Colorado. We do a lot of, we do Connecticut. We do Massachusetts. We do Rhode Island. We just sung in a place called Defiance, Ohio. Did you ever hear that place?
No.
And when I was on stage, I said, "In the name of God, where did you get the name Defiance?" And then, of course, that caused its own kind of whispers. And I don't need to go into that. I mean, we figured out why they call it Defiance, but I didn't know why they called it Defiance. As you well know, Michael, I often talk before I think instead of thinking before I talk. It
Yeah,
all comes
that's
out.
an Irish trait.
Yeah, that is an Irish trait.
Yeah.
But no, we love Plymouth, and anytime we've been there, the Plymouth audience has been fantastic, and that theatre is amazing. Um, I'm just trying to think of the conductor that. God, he had curly grey, it's a Greek name, but I've done a lot of shows there, and I've a great shout out. I have a wonderful friend. I don't know if you know her, Shirley Souza. Shirley and I have been friends for years. She runs a tow company. She is the most amazing woman imaginable, and she hails from Plymouth. And she is Portuguese, and by God, can she cook?
Oh, there's a good Portuguese population in Plymouth. They
Yeah,
they
there is.
they
Yeah,
yeah, they immigrated into our area about the same time or just after the Irish did. They have a
that's right. Are you going Sunday night?
I am. My wife, and my 2 children will be there on Sunday.
Oh, great.
What are the names of your kids?
Jack and Maggie.
Maggie. I'm actually singing a song called Maggie, so I'll dedicate it to her.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that would be great.
She'll
All right.
she'll be
Yeah.
embarrassed as all hell, but that'll be fine.
So yeah, no, it's great. Gosh, we must keep in touch, Mike, because I'll be doing a few things next year as well, and we might have a chat about them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The last question I would have for both of you, I mean, Ronan, the list of people that you've gotten to sing with has been
Oh yeah,
is amazing.
yeah.
But is there I guess, is there a person or is there an event that I would say really holds I mean, there's things. I mean, there's the performance after 9/11. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. It's probably an unfair question to ask you, but is there one that stands out as kind of pivotal for you with regards to your
Well,
career?
You know, Mike, there are a huge amount of them that are pivotal. I mean, the 9/11 was it was very moving, and in Yankee Stadium, I sung, and Bette Midler was there. There was Placido Domingo. There was a lot of people that had given of their time. But I sung for 65 firemen's funerals, and um, and in some cases, when I was singing the funeral, some of they had, say, several coffins in the church, and in the middle of, I remember this particular time. It was in Long Island. I was singing, and then the priest stopped and he said, "So and so has been found." And it really put a lot of things into perspective for me. And my love of the firemen and the defense forces and the people who give unconditionally to save our country is huge. I remember going on the USO tour to Bagram and to Iraq and to Afghanistan. You love this, Mike. I went to I sung in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I flew back to Kennedy, took took a plane to Heathrow, and then landed in Kuwait. You won't believe this. I got on the wrong friggin' plane. I ended up in a place called Bagram. I flew on a C-17, and the young fellow that was flying me, he was a young 23-year-old, and they were carrying 8 Hummers to Afghanistan for the American Defense Forces. And he says to me, "Sir," he said, we will get off the ground." And I said, "Thank God for that." And he said, "But by having you on board, we're overweight." I said, "You little whippersnapper." But I'll never forget that. But you asked memorable. There are lots. I mean, when I sung for President Reagan's funeral, Nancy Reagan had asked me the uh, the week before, would I sing at the funeral, and I said yes. And then I was very fond of President Bush, and he was fantastic to me, a senior. And one of the most, I suppose, memorable moments was the night he died. I was brought in and sat by his bed, and we sung. I sung together. I sung stuff for him. I sung. I sung Silent Night, and I sung it in Irish, and I sung um, um, Red is the Rose, and um, some other piece. Oh, a Creast and Shield. Michael, I don't know if you're familiar with that piece, but it's a beautiful Irish piece. But I think, you were asking me about pivotal times. I mean, I've been privileged to sing for a lot of amazing events, sad events.
Mm.
Uh, and I do it again in a second, because as much as I feel there has been so much, this country gives so much to immigrants, and they give unconditionally. To have the honor to sing for the people who protect you, I think is a big honor, and therefore I'm always delighted to be able to do it.
Thank you. That's a great thank you so much for answering the question. Like I said, I didn't know if it was a fair one, but the
No, no,
answer
no. Hey, Mike, you have a bit of Irish in you, so you're going to throw it out there regardless.
Michael, I don't know what it is. Every single time we interview a musician, things get a little emotional,
Oh, they
and
do. They do.
that had to have been one of the most poignant answers we've had on the podcast yet.
I would
Well, I tell you, Craig, Greg, I love the country. Um, I'm apolitical. I love when people have strength and the fortitude to to protect others, and the defense forces, all of them, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, the policemen, the firemen, the Navy. These are amazing, amazing people, and you have to stand back and look at their parents and say, "God, you're powerful people, because you've allowed your son and daughter to go and preserve the integrity of this beautiful country, and knowing that at some stage you may not get them back,
Mm.
but the honor that you have has befallen on your family and you as a person is huge, and that's why you have to admire the families, the father and mother of these people, because I can only imagine the heartbreak and the fear and the hope that they will see their son or their daughter again. And I remember going to Bethesda and visiting the troops that got injured, and I suppose being an amputee, in some ways you can give maybe some small bit of understanding, some small bit. I mean, you're not able to give, you'll never be able to give what they want back. And I often think, I sing a song called Smile, and in times of sadness, sometimes a smile says it all. Not because you're smiling with happiness, you're smiling with sadness, and it's an inward smile, but the people that you encounter know that you're smiling with love for them. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. What I would just from like a personal standpoint, I would just like to say thank you, Ronan, for having that attitude. My youngest brother is a Afghan Marine vet, and
Oh, wow.
it's true. When they're deployed, you don't know.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I remember being in Bagram, and I met a Sergeant Major Tooley and Colonel Bellini, Frank Bellini, and these guys were amazing. And I remember I got separated from the USO group. Imagine this: I got friggin' separated. They had 2,500 troops waiting for a show, and Sergeant Tooley said to me, "Sir, will there be a show?" I said, "There surely will." And I'm thinking to myself, "How in the name of God am I going to do this?" And there was an Air Force, the North or South Carolina cadets. They had a barber shop, and I remember hearing them, and I said, "That's my backing crew. That's going to be the performance of my life." And this girl, one of the kids, had this pink boa. Right? You know what a boa is?
Yeah,
It's like this big pink boa. And I came on stage and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Diana Ross and the Supremes." And boy, did we blow up that tent. And it was amazing. We had the best laugh. And to this day, Frank Bellini and I have been phenomenal friends. And that's why I salute the armed forces, the Navy, all these people, because they're, and you know what, Michael? These are young men and women, 22, 23 years of age, and they have not questioned why they do it. They've questioned, they don't put a question there at all. They give. It's unconditional giving. And that's what America has to be proud of. That people, that young people in this country are willing to stand up for America and for what it means. And we should never lose sight of that. We
yeah,
should never lose sight of that,
yeah,
you know?
definitely.
But hey, listen, you want to talk? I know you had one last question for Patrick, so I've
No,
monopolized all this, and I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm blown
no,
away by
no,
this as
no,
well.
not at
So
all.
Yeah,
what a great. That's incredible.
It
that's a
is.
lot of
Yeah,
It
that
is.
that's a lot
that is incredible.
So
that's a lot of
I guess, Patrick, what holds for you after you're done? Or if you I mean, maybe we'll be talking to you 27 years from now, and you'll still be with
What?
Well, if I'm
At
still
my
going,
at my memorial.
oh no.
I said to this guy, I said, if I'm half the guy he is in 27 years time, about singing and everything, I'll be very very lucky guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's very moving, very incredible. Yeah, that's really very moving. I have to say, yeah.
it is.
But yeah, in 27 years time, yeah, who knows?
Sure, he's only a child. He's only a child. I'm nearly 66. This fella's only a chap.
Oh,
He's only a chap, Mike.
do
Sure,
we even
you're not.
ask his age,
What?
Ronan?
Hey, Michael, what are you? 35?
Oh, 45.
Oh, you're even less. You're even a chap, Michael. You know they say grass never grows on a busy street.
I'll see you in 27 years time, Michael, as well.
There you
So
go, there you go.
Hey,
That's a schedule, we'll put it on.
hey,
yeah, put that in the diary.
Yeah,
Greg and Mike, thank you for being. And I'm sorry I went into a load of stuff, but you know what? I do love this country. I love what it stands for, and I love the people that preserve it, and I love the fact that people can be honest and have integrity and be proud of it. America, be proud because you know what? You're a hell of a country.
Oh, thank you. I the
Thank
best, and Greg will attest to this, our best episodes are the ones that are full of emotion, and that they are, and that this has been great.
Yeah, it was great, and you know what? It's great. Tell that young one that was trying to get us together. She did a good job.
Yeah, Riley, I'll have to I gotta
Yeah.
reach out to her. She's all hyped and getting more people on with us, so I'm
Ah, it's great. Yeah,
very
lovely
grateful,
girl. Lovely
very
girl.
grateful.
Listen, thank you.
Oh, thank
Before
you.
we before we let you guys go, I just for our South Shore listeners,
Yes,
just want to remind you that the big event is Sunday, November 30th. So we'd
that's
love to
right.
see you there. And if you haven't heard the Irish Tenors, and now with a new member, which I'm excited about, you get on down there. I mean, it's important, and our podcast speaks to the what we call the Irish Riviera here on the South Shore.
That's right. Yeah,
So
they even
throw
say
that in.
that. You know what? They even say that about Situate, where I live. It's the Irish Riviera. Don't get it, but there you go.
Oh, get
So
out of
you're
here. You're in
Scituate.
Situate?
So you're just adding to the problem, Ronan. So I'm from Weymouth,
All
and
right.
I have constant arguments with my fellow Hibernians about where there's a higher density
Right.
full of Irish ancestry, Situate
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Weymouth. So
Do you
so
know
now
the great
I know
thing,
you're on that team.
Greg? Do you know the great thing about the Irish diaspora in America? They love being Irish.
Oh,
They absolutely love being Irish.
Yeah.
Anything Irish at all.
Well, we had, last episode, we had a individual on. He's originally from Octorard, and he
All right.
runs Irish shop in Duxbury.
All
And
right.
yeah, and he was talking with us about how the second and third generation Irish, they just they don't take anything for granted, and they celebrate it so much.
They
And
do that.
and that is a testament to how we are here. So
Yeah.
I'm always gonna wave the flag. Always
Good
gonna.
man.
Man.
Yeah.
it, it's easy to have that kind of pride when you live where we live, but it's even
Yeah.
easier with with folks like you around who are coming over and sharing the culture, and whether you deal with that with somebody who's first, second, third, fourth generation Irish, there's always that.
Yeah.
You always kind of feel that ring
Yeah.
when you hear beautiful music and things like that, and that's what that's what you bring. So we're looking forward to seeing you on Sunday and testing out Patrick. It's going to be a lot of
Will.
pressure.
Yes.
He'll be
Thanks.
great. Don't worry. He'll blow you away.
All
Hey,
right. Well,
thanks, guys. Awesome.
Good to see you guys.
Oh, no,
See you
thank
Sunday.
you.
All
We'll
right.
see you
God
on
bless.
Take care.
Sunday.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode of Crack on the Coast. Thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, share it with a friend, and if you've got a story to tell or a topic you'd love us to cover, you can email us at crackonthecoast@gmail.com. That's CRAIC on the coast at gmail.com. And that'll be it, folks. Slán go fóill.